We've all heard that the early bird catches the worm. But why does waking up at 4 a.m. feel like an impossible battle for most of us? The truth is, the problem isn't your morning, it's your night. Successful people don't just wake up early, they prepare to wake up early. Billionaires and high achievers don't leave their mornings to chance. They follow a precise night routine that guarantees a productive 4 a.m. start. Today, we're breaking down the night habits that will transform your sleep and your life. Your morning starts the night before. 2 hours before sleep, clear your mind. High performers never plan their day in the morning. They do it at night. By writing down your top 3 tasks before bed, you eliminate decision fatigue and allow your subconscious to work on solutions while you sleep. 10 hours before bed. No more caffeine. 3 hours before bed. No more food or alcohol. 2 hours before bed. No more work. Let your brain unwind. 1 hour before bed. No more blue light or screens. 0. The number of times you hit the snooze button in the morning. Minimize friction. Lay out your workout clothes, set your glass of water, and most importantly, keep your phone in another room. If you have to physically get out of bed to turn off your alarm, you've already won the hardest battle of the day. What if I told you your success is not decided in the morning, but the night before? Right now, while most people are scrolling endlessly, watching random videos, or delaying sleep, there's a small group of people quietly preparing to dominate tomorrow. They're not lucky and they're not special. They simply understand something that 99% of people ignore. You don't win the day when you wake up, you win it before you sleep. In this video, you're going to discover the exact night routine that high performers use to wake up at 4 a.m. with clarity, focus, and unstoppable energy. These are not theories, but practical steps you can start tonight, and if you stay until the end. Let's be honest. Most people slowly destroy their potential every single night. After a long day, they tell themselves they deserve a break, and suddenly one video turns into 10 minutes turn into 2 hours, and before they realize it, it's already midnight. They go to sleep mentally exhausted, distracted, and unfocused, and the next morning they hit snooze, feel unmotivated, and start the day already behind. This cycle repeats again and again, quietly draining their discipline, their confidence, and their ability to move forward. But here's the truth most people don't want to accept. It's not your morning that's broken. It's your night that's out of control. Highly successful people understand something different. They don't rely on motivation when they wake up. They design their nights so their mornings become automatic. For them, tomorrow doesn't begin at sunrise. It begins with how they spend their evening. That's the shift you need to make. Stop asking how to wake up at 4 a.m. and start asking how to prepare tonight so waking up early becomes natural. Because discipline isn't built in the morning. It's built in the small decisions you make before you go to sleep. The first thing high performers protect at night is their mind. At least 1 hour before bed, they disconnect from screens, no social media, no endless scrolling, no random content. Your brain doesn't shut off instantly, and whatever you consume before sleep becomes the last message your subconscious receives. If you fill your mind with noise, you wake up with confusion. But if you create silence, you wake up with clarity. Tonight, try putting your phone away earlier than usual. It may feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is where real discipline begins. Before going to sleep, successful people also take a few moments to reflect. They pause and ask themselves what they did during the day, what they did right, and where they wasted time. This isn't about guilt or self-criticism. It's about awareness, because you can't improve what you don't measure. Just 5 minutes of honest reflection can completely change how you approach your next day. When you consistently review your actions, you begin to live more intentionally, and your progress becomes faster and more focused. Another powerful habit is planning the next day in advance. Most people wake up and then decide what to do, which leads to confusion and wasted time. High performers do the opposite. They decide the night before. They write down their top 3 priorities, not a long, overwhelming list, but 3 clear tasks that actually matter. This clarity removes hesitation. When you wake up already knowing what needs to be done, you don't waste energy thinking, you start executing immediately, and that's what creates momentum. Before sleep, successful individuals also focus on mind programming. They read a few pages, listened to something educational, or learn something meaningful. This is important because your subconscious mind becomes highly active before you sleep, and what you feed it during this time shapes how you think the next day. Even 10 minutes of intentional learning can make a huge difference, but it has to be purposeful. Random content leads to random results, while focused input creates focused outcomes. Of course, none of this works without sleep discipline. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to wake up early while still sleeping late. It doesn't work. You cannot wake up at 4 a.m. if you go to bed at 1 a.m. Success is not just about waking up early, it's about sleeping on time. Your body needs rest, and your brain needs recovery. High performers follow a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed at the same time every night without excuses. This consistency builds energy, and energy is what drives performance. Now imagine waking up at 4 a.m. The world is quiet. There are no notifications, no distractions, no noise pulling your attention in different directions. This is where the top performers separate themselves from everyone else. They use this time for deep, focused work, when their mind is fresh and undisturbed. While others are sleeping, they are building their future one focused hour at a time. At this point, it's no longer just about routines, it's about identity. You're not someone who is trying to be successful. You are becoming someone who prepares, plans, and executes with intention. You are becoming the kind of person who wins before the day even begins. And that transformation doesn't start tomorrow morning. It starts tonight with the decisions you make when no one is watching. So tonight, don't just go to sleep. Prepare to win. Because your future is not created in the morning. It is built in the quiet moments before you close your eyes. If you're serious about changing your life, start now. Take control of your night and you will take control of your future. Remember, win the night and you will win your life. What if the real reason you're not successful yet has nothing to do with your talent, your education, or even your opportunities, but something much simpler and more dangerous, your nights? Because while most people believe success is built in the morning, the truth is very different. Success is actually decided in the quiet hours before you sleep. Right now, as you're watching this, there are people who will wake up tomorrow ahead of you. Not because they worked harder today, but because they prepared better tonight. They understand a powerful truth that most people ignore. Your night routine is silently designing your future. Think about it carefully. Every night, you are making a choice that either builds your future or slowly destroys it. Most people don't notice it because it feels small. One more video, one more scroll, one more distraction. But these small moments compound. They turn into late nights, low energy mornings, lack of focus, and eventually a life that feels stuck. And the most dangerous part is, it feels normal. You start believing that being tired, unmotivated, and distracted is just life. But it's not life, it's a habit. And habits can be changed. Successful people don't live in this cycle. They don't wait for motivation in the morning because they already designed their success the night before. They know something most people never realize. Your brain at night is not just resting. It is absorbing, processing, and programming your next day. That means whatever you do before sleep is not just entertainment or relaxation. It is instruction. You are literally telling your future self how to feel, think, and perform. This is why the first rule of high performers is simple but powerful. Protect your mind before sleep. At least 1 hour before going to bed, they disconnect from everything that drains mental energy. No endless scrolling, no meaningless content, no emotional overload. Because they understand that your last hour shapes your first hour. If your mind is full of noise before sleep, your morning starts with chaos. But if your mind is calm, your morning starts with clarity. And clarity is everything. Because clarity is what separates people who react from people who lead their life. Most people wake up and then try to figure out what to do. But high performers already know. They don't start their day with confusion, they start with direction. And that direction is created the night before, when they take a few minutes to think intentionally about tomorrow. They reflect on their day not to judge themselves, but to understand themselves. They ask simple questions. What did I do well today? Where did I waste time? What can I improve tomorrow? This reflection is powerful because it creates awareness, and awareness is the beginning of change. Without reflection, days blur together. With reflection, every day becomes a lesson, and every lesson becomes progress. After reflection comes planning. This is where most people fail. They carry their tasks in their mind, thinking they will remember everything in the morning. But the human mind is not built for storage, it is built for execution. So high performers remove mental clutter by writing everything down. Not everything, just the most important things. Usually 3 key tasks that will actually move their life forward. This is how they create focus before the day even begins. And focus is what creates results. Because a distracted mind can work all day and still produce nothing meaningful. But a focused mind can achieve in 2 hours what others fail to do in an entire day. That's why planning the night before is not just a habit. It is a weapon. It gives you control over your attention before the world tries to take it away. Then comes something even more powerful: intentional learning before sleep. High performers don't end their day with random entertainment. They end it by feeding their mind something meaningful. A few pages of a book. Powerful idea. A lesson that improves their thinking. Because they understand that your subconscious mind works even when you are asleep. It continues processing whatever you give it. So if you feed it low-value content, you wake up with low-value thoughts. But if you feed it growth, you wake up with direction. However, none of this matters if your sleep is inconsistent. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they can fix their life while still ignoring their sleep. But your body doesn't negotiate with your goals. If you sleep late, you will wake up tired. If you wake up tired, you will perform poorly. And if you perform poorly, your entire day collapses. That's why successful people treat sleep like discipline, not comfort. They don't sleep whenever they feel like it. They sleep when it's time because they respect their future self. Now imagine this lifestyle. It's 4 a.m. The world is completely silent. No distractions, no notifications, no noise. Just you and your mind. This is the hour where everything changes. While most people are still sleeping, the top 1% are already building, thinking, creating, and executing. This is not about waking up early. It is about owning time that others waste. And that ownership is what creates separation in life. Because in the end, success is not about doing extraordinary things once. It is about doing ordinary things consistently when nobody is watching. And your night routine is exactly that moment. Nobody sees it. Nobody praises it. But it quietly decides everything that comes after it. Your energy, your focus, your discipline, your direction. And this is where everything comes together. Success is not a single decision. It is a series of small decisions repeated every night. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are not just improving your night, you are upgrading your identity. You are becoming someone who doesn't rely on motivation. Someone who builds structure. Someone who prepares instead of reacts. So tonight, when you finish watching this, don't just move on to the next distraction. Pause for a moment and think. Ask yourself one simple question. Am I designing my future or repeating my past? Because the truth is, your future self is being built right now. Not in big dramatic moments, but in quiet decisions like this. And if you want a different life, you don't need a different world. You need a different night. So start tonight. Protect your mind. Reflect on your day. Plan tomorrow. Feed your mind something meaningful. And sleep with discipline. Because when you win the night, you don't just improve tomorrow. You change your entire life. A successful day isn't won at dawn. It's won at dusk. If you want to change your results, change your routine. Start tonight. If you're ready to master your discipline, check out our previous video on Become the Person Who Attracts Success to align your mindset with your new habits. Don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Theory for more strategies on building a life of excellence.